This
Welcome to the Diary of Dating Over 50 with Tanya R. Lewis, the hottest dating show on social media, hosted by the sassiest model of them all, Tanya R. Lewis. Are you 50 and single, dating or waiting to mingle? Be a guest on the Diary of Dating Over 50 with your host, Tanya R. Lewis.
Hello out there. This is Tanya R. Lewis with the Diary of Dating Over 50, and welcome. And sorry for the inconvenience of the time, but we tried to give our fathers a little bit longer with their family before I snatched them away from them. So today we are doing a special show and we're honoring some amazing dads. And y'all know how I do it. I allow people to introduce themselves. So first, I'm going to start with Leroy. Leroy, introduce yourself and just a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Leroy Brown. I'm 47
Wow.
years old, married, father of four. Um, you know, currently mental health therapist. Work at the VA as a therapist, and I'm also a clinical director for a behavioral health program called Potter House. So
Oh,
I'm born and
amazing.
raised in Hamilton, Ohio. Currently live in Cincinnati, and I'm excited to be here tonight.
Thank you, Leroy. And can you use your outside voice and start trying to stop talking all sexy?
Don't
All
do my
right.
cousin like don't do my cousin like that, ma.
Okay. And I need you to talk a little louder too. So my next guest is Ero Redrum. That's what he want to be called. But he my damn son, y'all.
My name Arsenio.
Louder.
I'm Tanya R. Lewis, Winston McLean's son. She got three last names. I got a clothing line, and a love other side. I'm a father. I'm a loving son, and like my cousin Leroy, I'm happy to be here too.
Thank you, son. Thank you so much. All right. And our next guest is Tiku. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Tiku.
Hey, world, what's going on? It's an honor to be here. I go by TC or T Cool, whatever you prefer. I'm a model, actor, author, poet, um, all around lover of life, lover of positive people. Pollyanna, which means like see the silver lining in mostly anything, no matter how much it hurts at the time. There's always something good that comes out of things. Um, yeah, and Tanya, Miss R. Lewis, thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay. So Tiku, TC is the baby of the bunch. He has a new baby. So we're gonna find out about that new baby too. But my first question is, can you all what was your childhood? Give us a little background on you. Give me a little bit about your childhood. TC, go ahead and tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Um, yeah. My childhood was pretty dope. I lived with my mom till like 5 when she joined the military. I was then raised by my father's mother, my grandmother, but it's all in my book. Uh, you know, Tears of a Black Man. When a lion cries, like you can hear all about my story. It was an abusive childhood, so I couldn't wait to get out. So I joined the service as soon as possible. I joined the 82nd Airborne, but through my upbringing, I did learn, like being from the South, the proper mannerisms and the way to get my point across. And we don't take much BS. So being from where I was, Mobile, Alabama, but really Pritchard, Alabama was all black town. Most people don't know it. So I have to say Mobile, Alabama for them to understand. But yeah, being from there and an abusive childhood or whatnot, when I joined the service to get some aggression out or whatnot, I was ready. I joined the infantry, 82nd Airborne. I did 3 years and honorable discharge, and yeah, here I am now. A lot of the things I went through did help make me the man I am, and it made me tough enough to deal with the things I went through. But I wouldn't recommend it. So this
Okay.
round with my son, I'm gonna be the best father, the best everything I can. And although my son's only 10 months and like 2 weeks, I do have two older children. I have a
Okay.
from previous
Okay.
marriage. I have a daughter who's 25 and my son who's 22. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been down this road before, but it's been so far
It's a little
removed.
different now, huh?
Yeah, a lot different.
Yeah.
I'm more
Okay.
mature. I'm enjoying it more. Taking my vitamins so I can be around a little longer.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
yeah, it's
we're
definitely.
gonna get in a little more about the 10-month-old. Okay. I think we lost my son, but he'll be back in. Leroy, tell us a little bit about your upbringing and
So,
and all of your children.
yeah, I was raised in a two-parent home by my mother and my father, Tommy Ann, formerly Winston, but Brown, and Leroy Henderson. Um, all of my siblings were out of the house when I came around. So I'm what they call a change of life baby, right? So a lot of people think my mother is my grandmother and my sibling, my sisters are my mother. So I grew up being an uncle. My father passed away when I was 10 years old. Extremely traumatic event that affected our whole family. He was definitely the patriarch. He was the one that, had vision for our family and guided our family and kept structure and order. And when he passed away, my mother had a difficult time coping with that. And I had a difficult time adjusting to the lack of structure of him being gone. So, I began to rebel. I began to allow anger, resentment, and fear rob me. And as a result, I end up making some unhealthy decisions in my teenage years that would then cause me to become incarcerated. And, through those experiences, I learned what it is to be a man and what it is to become resilient and persevere through obstacles, not allowing our trials or our mistakes to define us. Um, Married one of my childhood friend's sister and one of my best friend's first cousin. And, we have four children, um, one of which was murdered in 2016. So, this Father's Day is, kind of bittersweet. But what is beautiful about it is his daughter spent the whole weekend with my wife and I, and we went to the gravesite and seen, paid our respects today, and I went to church today and served in a capacity of
I'm sorry,
leadership
guys.
in my church, and uh, went to enjoy dinner from my mother-in-law, and then my sister who raised me when my mother had difficulty adjusting from my father's death. So, you know,
I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get my producer. He's not paying attention to bring my son back in. So okay. Uh, I think it's just me and you in here now, right?
Yeah, works.
Wow. Okay.
I like my
So
voice. I always got a lot to say.
I like your voice too. Just but hold on for me.
Sure.
Um uh
oh,
okay, Leroy back in. Okay, so y'all can't touch your phones because I when you hit it and you go out, it's hard to get back in. Uh Trying to get my son back in. I this is what happened when your producer is not paying attention. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, okay, so
Worst.
let's move to the next question. We can't get stuck. Um, okay, so what was your relationship like with your father, TC?
uh, Extortion,
Oh wow.
abusive. Uh, it's not a road I like to travel. It's not great memories or whatnot. So Yeah, I wasn't one of the ones that. In fact, I was in the service when he passed, and they flew me back 2 weeks to see him with my pregnant fiance at the time before he passed, and I was mad he didn't pass because the second time I had to go, I had to pay on my own dime 2 weeks later. So it was just it didn't mean much.
Oh
Sorry to say
wow.
on Father's Day, but just being honest, it wasn't what it should have been.
So how were
I'm
you
sorry you went out.
able? Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Okay. How are you able to um you know learn from that and be a better father?
It's pretty easy. When you have an example like I had, I mean, just do total opposite. Just,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Be there, be present. Um, don't come in, you know what I'm saying, ask for money and send me doing things I shouldn't be doing. And I threatened to tell my grandmother, which would be more abusive if I didn't pay you. Just a lot of crap with that guy. So, in fact, before I joined the service, we had a pretty physical altercation, like the day before I left. In my going away party, it just got out of hand. And
Can you get my son
yeah,
back in, please?
I had to put hands on him.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
yeah,
you had
it
to put
definitely
hands
took
on
a
your
turn in our
father.
relationship. Oh yeah, I had to hurt my father best. Yeah, I had to hurt my pops pretty bad before I left. So every time after that, when I'll come back, it will kind of be like uncomfortable, strange vibe type deal. But I didn't care. I didn't want to be around him anyway. So like, just keep your distance. We keep it going.
Wow, that's unfortunate. But it made you who you are and a better father today.
Oh yeah, I'm in all my
Mhm.
kids' life, and I was actually going through a divorce or
Mhm.
separation when my son was born previously. So now this time I'm all in. I'm gonna be like I'm supposed to be for him, and I'm already making ultimate sacrifices. I just re-enrolled in the school, so now I'm a full-time student and full-time employee. So just to do what I got to do to make his path. I mean, I earned my struggle. I earned my stripes. I did what I had to do to become the man I am. I'm proud of that, but at the same time, I want to make it easier for my son and let him know that I'm always here for him.
Okay. So sometimes neighborhoods help raise, raise us and gear us. That's how our neighborhood was back in the day. Leroy, can you give me an example of someone or a group of people that helped steered you, especially when your father was taken from you, when your father left? Who?
So, you have individuals like Jim Boy, Bryant. You have individuals like Von Lewis. You have individuals like Tim Taylor. These were all Victor
Mhm.
Davis, Samuel Abubakar. These were all
Yeah, I
these were
remember
all
Sam.
men who coached me in baseball and basketball, and Victor Davis and Samuel Abubakar were the directors at the community center. I want to say another name, Darlene Slaughter. She was very
Yeah,
instrumental in my development as well. So
mine too.
they did a phenomenal job, keeping us engaged and activities during the summer months where we could spend time in community with one another and not ripping and running the streets. So a lot of that structure for sports gave us confidence, with the talent shows and, the free
Yeah.
lunches and
Oh,
all
you
of that
taking
stuff
me
growing
back
up. You know what I'm
home.
saying? So
Yeah,
that
it
stuff
was
was everything.
important.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
took me down memory lane, baby,
Yeah,
because
for
all
sure.
those people touched my life. And learning how to shoot pool and being able to beat the boys in pool. That was my thing.
Okay.
So we have you back, son. Can you give us a little bit about your background and a little bit about your son?
First of all, I know today Father's Day, but my mother is associate. Like she's the big dog. She gave me a lot of game. I love my
No.
dad, but I also love my mother because
Mhm.
cause when she come through Hamilton, everything nothing move until she say it's supposed to move. So I
Right.
appreciate my mother, but also love my father. My father's a hippie. He
Mhm.
wear tie dye shirts and bell bottoms. He gave me a lot of game, and that got me through the rough parts of my life. I did 11 years. I did 2008 to 2019. Um, and the stuff that I learned from my parents got me through that time.
Mhm.
What was prison
I,
like for you, son?
huh?
What was prison like for you?
Um, it was programmed. It was
Hmm.
just it was the same thing every day. I knew that when I woke up, I was gonna eat at this time. I was gonna go to sleep at this time. And people always ask me like, "Damn, when you came home, did you have to get back used to?" No, I had to get used to jail. Freedom is being free was supposed to be normal. I had to get used to being in there. So now that I'm home, I don't have to get used to being home. It's just life. It's breathing and it's living. But my dad, I gotta shout out my dad. I wanted to see him. I took him some cologne over there today, and
Oh,
I love my
he
dad.
can
Man.
smell good with his
My
hippie
guy.
ass.
He do. And you love him. You miss him too. Probably. But I was raised by
So,
I was raised by two beautiful, strong individuals. They totally different, but I was raised by good, strong parents, man. And I can tell because I look people in their face every day. I'll be outside or I'm in. I see people and I'm like, damn, y'all ain't like me. You know what I'm saying? Because and not because I'm better than nobody, but I was blessed to have two strong parents who cut from a
yeah.
different type of cloth and they poured into me.
What
So
would so
I
can you
appreciate it.
tell can you give me some people that was in your life that help geared you through your life? You know, other people, not your parents.
Okay. I got an uncle. He passed
Mhm.
away a little while ago, but my uncle Calvin, my dad's brother, and he always poured into me too. He always told me like you gonna be different, nephew. Like you got a different type of energy, man. Carry yourself different. You're not like everybody else. And
What about
so
your
by the
coaches?
time I got older, it was just
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
he showed
Yeah.
me a lot of love, man, a lot of guidance. My sisters, I was
Um,
raised by all type of good women. I got some good women, and cuz Leroy, we got some good women, don't we? We got some good,
Absolutely.
we got some good,
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah. Absolutely.
My Nina,
Yeah. I think about
she
my
the goat.
sister Shirley and I think about Zeb. They was, instrumental in my development as well. You know what I mean?
I know today about men and about fathers, and I really do appreciate them giving us a day. But I grew up with some real good women in my life. My Nina, man, I love my Nina so much.
Oh my God.
Man,
my sister ain't no joke,
And
is
she
she?
and she been taking up for me since I was peeing in the bed. You hear me?
She was taking up for you, Leroy.
What? Listen, man, Nina didn't play about me. She don't play about me now.
she don't
she'll
at all.
she'll
Not even
fight
a
a
little bit.
rock, won't she?
Oh, man, listen.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so TC, tell me, um, you faced some significant challenges in your life, including you mentioned the part about with your dad. What mental did that have some bearing on your mental state of mind? And what motivates you to kind of keep yourself, how do you keep yourself sane? Because to go through that with your dad and to come up with that, to have that relationship, it has to have some issues with your mental state.
Oh yeah, definitely. My whole childhood carried over to my adult life. It actually, like I said, benefited me when I was in the military and other personal situations. I wasn't as mentally weak or physically soft as a lot of people, my peers or whatnot. So, um, it actually it's a bad thing at the time, but in hindsight, it kind of was a blessing too, because it made me stand out and get things done. But how do I deal with it? Um, I'm still dealing with it, honestly. I mean, I've had therapists, I've talked to people or whatnot, but um, yeah, I'm learning to be patient with others and not necessarily take my trauma out on them, especially ones I truly love and I want it to last, like my current relationship and family members and things like that. A lot of family members didn't even know what I went through till the book came out. And they actually got to read how the childhood was from the day my mom left me on my grandmother's doorstep to me pissing in the bed out of rebellion. Like, if you're gonna beat me, I'm gonna get your reason to hit me. And it was just like a lot of stuff. So I'm still dealing with it, honestly. But I'm just at one point in my life, I had to just forgive everyone that I thought hurt me or put me in certain situations. That included my grandmother, my father, and things of that nature, just so I can heal from the inside and try to be a better person. At that point, I became a nicer guy. I learned more about the law of attraction. Now I'm all about positivity. We're talking like 15 years later. I mean, it was life changing. It changed my mind. It changed my mindset. Changed my attitude. Changed my life. It's been great. I recommend anybody just try to change the outlook on things and see yourself as being victorious, because we're not here to live a mediocre or subpar life. I mean, we have obstacles, we have things we got to overcome, but it's just toughening you up and it's just sharpening the iron, to make you the person you need to be for somebody else, like your
So
son
two
or your
questions.
daughter.
Two questions. You said that, so your mother literally left you on your grandmother's porch and walked away.
Well, she went off to join the military, and when she got
Okay.
done with the service, things didn't turn out. Like, she couldn't come back to prison on one will
Mhm.
as a black person in the early 80s and just get a good job. So, as per a lot of my family, my mom migrated here to Atlanta, and it took her a while to get herself together and established. So in the meantime, I would make summer visits and whatnot. But yeah, so she was there. I don't mean to put like I was abandoned, but that day I
Okay.
was left, in the book and everything, I felt like I had no voice. It was like, uh, yeah.
Okay. And what's the name of your book?
I'm sorry. Say again.
What's the name of your book?
Uh, when a lion cries, Tears of a King.
Perfect.
I was looking for a copy here, but they're out of my truck. So I'll give you guys my Instagram or social media. If you guys are
Oh yeah.
interested,
Yeah,
you can
we
easily reach
I'll
out to
get
repost
that.
me.
it on my
Yeah.
page too. I'll
I'll,
repost it
I'll,
on my
I'll get
page
that
too.
And
toward the end.
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool
Yeah.
book. It's like four gentlemen all went through whatever trauma in their childhood and how they
Is that
overcame it to be who they.
collaboration?
It is
Is
a
that
collaboration book.
collaboration with Sister JJ?
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I did one too. Mine is called Broken Crayons, color, Broken Crayon Still Color, even outside the lines. So yeah,
Right.
powerful. She did
Ma,
an
where you come
amazing
up with that
job.
at? That was like way fly. Where you come up with that at?
I just, because I always said broken crayons can still color. Just cause I'm broken don't mean I can't color, baby. So I need,
Facts.
okay, so Leroy, tell me when you, okay, we're not dissing your other babies, but it's that first one. Tell me as a father how, when you found out from the time that she was pregnant till that baby came out the womb, how, what
There
was
was
that feeling?
there was a level of fear, also a level of excitement, right? Um, because bringing a child into this world, you want to be prepared. And I used to associate um, parenthood with being able to financially contribute. So I was always judging myself based off of my bankroll, how much money I had to be able to take care of the child. So, um, but I remember when because I used to speak to her stomach when she was pregnant. I would talk to
You
her
to talk to her stomach.
right. So like when he came out and I said something, his eyes turned, like he turned his head, and I mean he like locked on me. He knew he heard that voice before, and when we locked, there was this level of connection, and you know, I was in love with this God given creature that I so uh uh you know gratefully had the opportunity to participate in with this woman, and he looks just like me, and he was such a loving. He wasn't one of those babies that cried a lot. And just like my father took me everywhere with him, I took him everywhere with me. And even to this day, he looks just like me, but things change when they become grown. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get it. Hold that story. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
Okay, because we gotta help some folks out here. Okay. All right, son, tell me, what was it all like?
I love my son with all my heart.
Mhm.
It's God, then it's him. Period. I became a father a little bit later than a lot of probably y'all. I was what 31 when I had my
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
child. I want some more babies too, but he's so smart, man. He's strong and he don't care. Like he don't like he'll do something. I'll pop him, and he'll look at me and be like, don't touch me." I'd be like, "Ooh, well, you don't even know. You come from a long line of strong people, so I can't even be mad at you that you this strong." Um,
So
his
what was
mother.
it like when you first found out she was pregnant? And then if you were there when she had him as well too, right?
I was there for everything, every little
Yeah.
piece
So
of
give me
everything.
give
But
me that feeling
um,
and that emotion.
so he was. I found out that she was pregnant on me and her anniversary of being together.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So she showed me the pregnancy, the stick, the whatever it's called on 11/18, and she said, "Yeah, I'm pregnant." So I was so happy. I'm still happy. I think about it. I'm still happy. Uh, I just know. I just feel like, and I hope it don't sound crazy, but I feel like I've been blessed my whole life. I feel like God has touched me. He don't touch everybody, but he didn't touch me. And I feel like my son is a part of me, so he's supposed to be great. I've been manifesting and praying for him to be great since he been born. So he gonna be great. But that's my son, man. I love him so much, man. He
Yeah.
just
I
I
love
can't.
it when he called me Gigi. Baby, he melt my heart. I just melt like butter. Okay. Okay. So TC and Leroy, both of you have older children. Give me some challenges that you had to deal with one of your children. You ain't got to do all of them, but give me some challenges that you had to deal with and some issues and how did you deal with them? Go ahead, TC. And Leroy, can you come up
Oh,
closer? We can't see your face. Turn the light on or something. You look like you in the dark, baby. Can't see
Hey,
your handsome
uh,
face at all. Yeah.
stop doing my cousin like that.
I can't see
Don't
his
do my
handsome
don't do
face.
don't do my cousin like that. He fly. He chilling.
You know he in the dark. Look, you can't even see him.
Can I say this before anything?
What's
That
that?
man right there, Leroy. No disrespect to nobody else, but Leroy. When I was a kid, he was bigger than life to me.
Yeah, we're gonna get
When I
into
came
that
when
too.
I came to Hamilton, when I came to Hamilton, it wasn't no name bigger than Leroy Brown.
Yep, you right.
Not one.
You right. We're gonna
And
we're gonna we're
and,
gonna talk about Leroy's
and
success and
give
the
my give
turns
my
and
boy his
tribulations.
flowers because
Yeah,
listen, because he was
yeah,
okay. Go
yeah,
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. TC, go ahead. Tell me about one of the challenges with one of your children.
one of my biggest challenges was with my son because my daughter had lived with me so long before we went through my separation, divorce, and whatnot. My son never really got to live with me. It was most like visitations and summer situations like that. So I felt, and we had eventually had a real. He's grown now. We eventually had several conversations about it, but he basically had animosity toward me because he always thought I favoritism my daughter more than him. But I had to explain to him, it's like that's not the case. Like she's my first. She's older. She requires more
Yeah.
things than you, so she gets more money when this and that happens. So after the same conversation, years in, years out, eventually got to the point like before he got into his late teens where he kind of understood. So now we're all on the same page. Like, yeah, he understands that there's no ill will toward you, son. I love you. I wish you the best. You do nothing but make me proud, and I'm still rooting for you too. Although I have a new son, it's not replacing you or my daughter. It's another obligation, another responsibility, another legacy, and all you guys are gonna just keep making me proud, and that's what I'm most excited about. Is the feeling that I get my son right now with the little things he does and the milestones he's reached. It's like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, it made me
Okay.
proud of you. And that feeling inside is something I think I gave a lot of people, and I look forward to getting. And I did receive from my daughter and my son, but it was kind of like at a distance in most situations. In this case, everything seems more personal because yeah, we right here. I'm changing these
So did they
diapers,
did were they
and
kind of were they kind of was your son, did he feel a little jealousy of the baby when he came?
oh yeah, definitely. He made that very clear. My daughter played it smooth because we didn't know what we were having at the time. But she was like me. I honestly didn't want another girl. I was like, that was my prince, that was my princess, that was my first one. That was my. I made a lot of major decisions based
Girl
off of
dad.
that girl. Yeah, I changed a lot of lifestyle things because of that girl. So yeah, that's my baby. And then my son came along. We were going through what we were going through, and I wasn't in this life as much as I wanted to, especially with all the extracurricular activities he did, like swimming and other activities, and he was pretty great at. So it's like, yeah, but you still made me proud. And now it's just kind of a different proudness, and I'm looking forward to experiencing a lot more of it.
Well, that's cool. And I've lost the other two, but hopefully we'll get them back in. So we're just going to keep on talking.
Let's go.
And so, what is the relationship like with your daughter and your baby in the son? Because they got many years apart.
Oh yeah, they do. They haven't seen them yet. They're dying to meet them, and actually, they're living in Tennessee. I have a family reunion in Tennessee coming up here July 11th, so we'll
Oh,
all
so
be together.
everybody going to get to meet him.
Yes, ma'am. He'll be out.
What is his name?
He's a junior. His middle name is different though. He's Troy Casson, and I'm country as hell. Mine was Troy Darnell. But anyway,
That's
he,
my brother's middle
yeah.
name. But we
So
named
his
every child we
last
had
name and all.
Darnell.
I'm
So,
telling you, man. I
um,
don't tell nobody that.
so how does Troy Jr. How does he bring that gap together with you and your fiance? Because y'all not married yet, right?
No, we get May next year. We get married, 2026. We haven't set a date yet, but a month, and
Hi, James.
want to be a spring situation. What up, BJ? Roman.
What's going on, y'all? Sorry. I apologize for
How
the
are
No
you?
late.
worries.
Yeah, you real late.
Good,
But
Yeah.
we're glad you're here. So
good to have you, man.
let's get you let's get you introduced. Introduce yourself and a little bit about yourself.
I'm BJ Bowman. Rap artist, been in the game for almost 30 years. Made a couple hit songs. Actor, model, been a part of TLA for years. Um, yeah, I do a whole lot of stuff, music
Thank you,
production.
Leroy.
You name it, I do it. Just been in the game, been around for a long time. Just, man of God.
Nice shirt you got on.
Best dad ever.
How many babies you got, BJ?
I have four and a stepdaughter, so I have three girls and two boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let me catch you up with everybody else. Okay, give us something when you were growing up in your childhood. Just give us a little background of that so we can kind of follow who you are and up to present. But just give us a little bit about your background, your childhood.
My childhood, my upbringing was up north in DC. That's my home. With my dad. My dad was in the military, and so I grew up in DC around Howard University area. Um, Northwest DC, moved to Maryland, and it was just a childhood of struggling to survive in these streets because I had a good life, but I wanted to be in the streets with everybody else.
Sound
So
like my
growing up,
son.
yeah. So growing up, finding my way through go and finding my way as a young man, trying to figure out which direction I wanted to go into a life, and then moving here to Georgia when I was in the 10th, 11th grade, and started my music career at a young age. Got into the music as a DJ, moved into a producer, and then into an artist, made platinum hit, and that's just where I've been at.
What's the name of one of your songs?
Our biggest hit was called Dickie Ride. And we
Who?
dropped Dickie Ride. Don't you want a Dickie Ride?
Yes, I do.
Tell him to stop.
That's what
Well, that's
show
all right.
do.
Hey, now it
I
was a
know this
dance,
about
but
dad, y'all, but the girl need a dick ride.
yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, use your imagination. We made a dance behind it, but you use your imagination.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
Okay, so tell me this, BJ. Give me the moment of when you found out your girl was pregnant, and then this baby. Just give me that feeling. when you first found out, and then maybe you were there when the baby was born.
I was there
Okay.
when I was there when three of them were born.
Okay. What was
So
the
my
feeling
oldest
like?
one, yeah, my oldest one is my daughter Alexis. When I found out that her mom was pregnant, I was overjoyed. First child ever. And found out it was a girl. So hey, I was extremely happy. So I remember the night that she went into labor. My dad was visiting us, and she woke us up in the middle of the night. Was like, "Hey, my water just broke. Need to get to the hospital." So my dad had this big old Cadillac, and he jumped in the back seat and said, "Son, you drive. Run every red light you need to run. I'll pay the tickets." So,
Oh wow.
so yeah, so we made it to the hospital, and I was there. I remember I had a Tupac shirt on, and when she was born, the doctor was like, "Hey, we're gonna do her footprint. You want to put it on your shirt?" I wasn't thinking at the
Oh,
time. I was like, "Nah, this is a Tupac shirt. Put it on something else." Yeah,
baby and her footprint.
yeah, I wasn't thinking, but
That's amazing. Okay, one
yeah.
more question for you, BJ.
Mhm.
Who kind of like in the neighborhood reared you that were examples and motivated you and kind of encouraged you to be a great young man in your neighborhood? Who was that person?
Well, it's all my dad, you know, and it's by
Wow.
yeah, it was by God's design. My dad has, him, my mom, my grandmothers, of course, they all instilled in me the right values of life, how to treat people, how to love, and how to have a foundation of Jesus Christ first and foremost, and that's what shaped me to be the man, the father that I am today, and
Okay,
just
but you took a detour. What
uh,
was the detour? I said you took a detour.
yeah, I took a detour in these streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was I picked up some bad habits, some bad things along the way, but that foundation was there to help keep me grounded. And
Perfect.
and, and the,
Perfect.
the thing about it is the essence of who I was as a man, as a father, never changed, even though I did get involved in other things that I shouldn't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, to you, Leroy. Leroy is my cousin, and we grew up together. And he wasn't always. That's the pastor sitting over there. That's pastor. That's our Reverend Leroy
Mhm.
Brown. But tell us, give us a little insight on where you was, where you started at in the streets, to a little bit of where you are right now.
So like what I've come to understand today is that I shoot before I was before I was here, you know what I mean. I was birthed into a life of drug addiction and crime and drug dealing and it wasn't something that was glamorized. It was a way of life, you know what I mean. So
Right.
I never looked at my I never looked at it like it was a negative thing. I looked at it, if it didn't happen, it would be a negative thing if my parents didn't have it, right? My father needed to get well. We got bills, and this guy to keep coming to drop stuff off at the house. I just seen him shoot a guy 5 times, and after he shot him, he said, "Hey, tell your dad I'm gonna come by and holler at him." I looked at I told my dad, "Hey, dad, stay away from that guy." You know what I mean? My dad
Mhm.
said, "Boy, you better mind your own business. That's what you better do." But
Wow.
so I think my family tried to keep me in sports, keep me in books, and keep me from that lifestyle. But like I said before, when my father left, the structure left. So you know, like my brother that shared before, I did music too. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
when people found out I had this, artistic ability to put words together, to put syllables together, to write songs, guys was coming to high school picking me up, and I didn't have to pay for studio time because they would pay for the studio time. Lo and behold, these guys are movers and shakers. These guys are, guys that are, involved in the game. And then, I got an older brother that's in the game, and he's saying, "Hey,
You can sell the green stuff, just don't sell the white stuff, or the brown stuff. You know what I mean? So, but we nosy, and I'm putting stuff up for him, and I bust open one of those packs one time and gave it to one of my homeboys, and the money came so fast. I was like, this money faster than these dime bags. You know what I'm saying? So that was my introduction to fooling around with like cocaine and everything. But they don't teach you in the streets uh 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 you know how the lifestyle, how the clientele, how the pressure of the game can create barriers for you as well. So, found myself, you know what I mean, cooking product and enjoying cooking product. When you listening to songs make crack like this, and you in the kitchen and you water whipping, and we laugh about this stuff and glorify it, but my one of the addictions that I had was actually cooking dope, cooking cocaine. And I got hooked on it, right? I got hooked on it, and it spiraled me out, and I could hide it because of how much product that I did have. And it got to the point where I could no longer keep this secret. I wanted out because it got out of hand. It got uncontrollable. So I remember telling my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, like, she think I'm messing around, and I'm telling her, like, I've been snorting coke all night. She like, what? You know what I mean? Like, everything that we have, everything that you see has been bought with drug money, and you wanna use the product, like, nigga, what is wrong with you? So, plus we live in a society that glorifies drug use, but uh looks down on addiction, right? It's okay if you take a drink. Just don't get drunk, and don't get fall down drunk. We will celebrate you drinking, but we gonna lock you up for alcoholism. So these different mindsets, there's a contradiction in where we live and where I came from. You don't do certain drugs in the black community. So I found myself, suicidal, and in this tug of war with self. And that's when I called on God. I said, if you real, I didn't even specify who he was, because at that time I was angry with God. At this specific time, I was professing that I was God. And I said, if you real, you'll take this from me. You'll take this from me, take this taste from me, and deliver me. And the people I was getting high with was like, man, you're gonna blow the spot up, right? Because I got on my hands and knees, and I just couldn't get no higher. You know what I'm saying? I had hit a plateau. I couldn't get no higher, and I called on God, and I received help immediately. My PO, who was my probation officer, who had me, my brother Ray, my nephew Eddie, my nephew Kiwan, and my nephew Rico. She had us all on probation, and she looked at me and said, "I'm gonna send you to prison first." And I said, "Why you gonna send me to prison first?" She said, "Cause you got some sense." She said, "You got brains, and you the ringleader, right?" And that same probation officer helped me get into treatment and helped me stay clean. That was over 20 years ago, right?
And you've
So
been clean
all of
for you've been
yep,
clean for how long?
and all of them went to prison, but she helped me, and while they were doing time, I was out here learning how to live without the use of drugs. So I have over 20 years clean today. So
Okay. Okay. Have anyone else experienced an addiction that has had you in grips?
No, not an addiction.
Okay.
I
Okay.
smoke. You can call it an addiction, but no, it's never got me in any kind of trouble.
Okay. 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 All right. Where was there a specific event or realization that shifted your perspective on life and fatherhood? When you felt like you were not doing a great job as a father, what made you, what came in and said, bam, wake up. This is what I need you to do. You need to get better at this. Uh, TC, you have a, answer that for me.
Um, well, for me, it took someone like my mom to get on me about just stop dealing with the present sometime, be still and wait for the future. Change gonna come, whatnot. It was mostly around the time when my kids, there's a period I wasn't having really good communication with them until I got my daughter her first cell phone because me and her mom wasn't talking. I mean, therefore, I couldn't talk to them. And it was real trying. And I'm believing one thing, like, she's over there brainwashed them, she's doing this, that, and the other. But uh, and truth be told, it worked out, man. I mean, I respect her. She did what she had to do without me being there, only being financially and within the allowance they would allow me to have them type deal. So I mean, she did a great job. I can't take nothing away from her. I'm not I can't even bash her. That's not what we're here to do. But I think I'm getting off key. I think that was my main thing. That was a problem I had with my kids. I lost communication for a while there, a couple years, and a few years actually, and it was just real rough. And I don't know what was going on or going through their minds at the time, but I'm still doing the best I could on my side. Uh, yeah, I just took my mom and
So
pulled me to the side.
your anger kind of pissed you off and made you just like, I'm
Yeah,
mad. I
definitely,
don't want nothing to do with none
definitely.
of y'all.
Well, I couldn't reach them too tough because I had to go through their mom, so that wasn't like I didn't want to. I gave them my kids. One of the things I did do, I started doing voluntary work with nonprofit organizations, helping out other kids and school drives, toy drives, and even with the Salvation Army, things like that. So I feel like I wasn't the piece of shit I was feeling like because I wasn't in the place I was supposed to be. I found other places to get joy, if that makes sense, or a peace of mind, or
Okay.
some kind of yeah,
Okay. Okay.
love, I guess.
BJ, I'm sorry. Go ahead, TJ. I mean, TC.
Nah, that's it. I guess I found somewhere to put
Okay.
my love and get love. That's all.
Okay. BJ, can you answer that for me, please?
Yeah, that changing moment for me was when I went to jail. Um, I was looking at 33 years in prison for some stuff that I had did. And God actually protected me, and the judge gave me 10 years probation. And for me to not get into any more trouble, if I did, I was going to end up doing those years in prison. So at the time, I was looking at um, my child and my whole entire life, and I knew that I needed to make a change. And my mother prayed for me. My dad, he was hardcore. He was like, "Let him sit in jail. He got to learn his lesson." You know.
Wow.
So I
Mhm.
sat in jail for a few weeks. You know, in there with murderers and all type of stuff. They called it the level that I was on was called HHH, hazardous to human health. You know,
Oh,
and yeah, so I made some friends in there. And we talked. Some of the OGs really, spit some knowledge into me and everything. So when I got out, I straightened up. And then after my probation was up, I left Georgia and for 8 years because I had to change my life. And that was the best 8 years of my life. I went and stayed with my dad, got myself together, spiritually, became a deacon. Then, of course, moved back to Georgia, became a minister, and I was in a better place for my life and for my kids. I was able to be a better man, a better father. God could use me in a greater capacity. Through my music, and music is my ministry as well. So that was the defining moment of my life is when I went to jail.
okay. So as I want to touch on that, because that was one of my questions, because not only are you a minister, but Leroy is as well.
Mhm.
How do you to pour into other fathers that come to you, um, that may have some challenges and issues? How do you pour into them? Leroy, answer that question first, and then I'm gonna come back to you, BJ.
I think it's always important to use the word, right, as a measuring stick, to use the word, to define, what's right or what's wrong, right? Not based on opinion, not based on what the world says, but based on what God says, right? And then, you know, I always can share my experience with an individual, and I do it on an individual setting. I do it at the gym. I do it at the grocery store, or I do it in groups. We do life groups at our church where it's relational discipleship. So there's a group of men who sign up. It may be a 12-week discipleship where we come together and, share our issues and work through them. It's not an opportunity for individuals to beat one another up with the word, but we're going, use scripture as a base. It's not a place where we preach. It's a place where we communicate, share, build rapport, and build relationships and establish trust. And in that setting, I've seen healing take place, right? I've seen men that I've discipled, right, start discipling other guys, and then watch those guys get married and run discipleship groups. So it's beautiful, because that's what Jesus tells us to do. He said make disciples, and sometimes we can, you know, you know, get confused about what that looks like. So it's not about a monologue where somebody is doing all of the speaking, right? I mean, it's about dialogue where we all are at a level playing field, and we get an opportunity to express ourselves, and, like I said before, establish trust. So I've seen great healing in those type of settings.
It's almost like that. What's that movie that's out? That the it's a man that he is kind of a millionaire, and they have these groups where they pour into these young men.
Exactly.
Uh, what's that movie? I can't remember that movie. I'll think of it. Okay.
Sledge,
What is it?
the sledge, the something.
Yeah, I can't remember the
He
name of
mentored
it, but it's a
the little young guy. He mentored him, and
yes. And
and
then
the
there was
guy
a
that he
whole group,
mentored,
and
yeah,
then he was mentoring the guy who
the guy
killed
that
his
killed his
daughter
son. Yeah,
or
yeah,
son. Yeah,
killed his son. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I seen that
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Great movie, and
Yeah,
that's what that sound like.
yeah.
BJ, can you answer that question for me as well?
Yeah, I agree with everything Leroy just said. Mainly actively listening to brothers as they come to me, because you got to meet people where they are, and you got to be what they need you to be in order to gain them without compromising your Christianity or who you are. Making myself available. I talk to brothers all over the country, all from all walks of life, and my biggest thing is of course keeping that foundation, let them know where I stand, but listening to where they are, because if you when you listen to people, they'll tell you exactly what they're going through and what they need from you, and you just making yourself readily available to help them with the Word of God, standing true to the Word of God, not beating them down, not pressuring them, being patient with them, because everybody's different. Some people know of Christ, but everybody doesn't know Christ. And you got to make sure that you are being what they need in order to gain them, to Christ, not to yourself, because it's not about us. We're just vessels. It's not about our titles or anything like that, but you can share your experiences to let them know, hey, I've been in the trenches, something, and we're still in the trenches because none of us have made it. None of us have arrived. But
Right.
what we're doing is we're striving to survive and make it through Christ because that's where our strength comes from. And there are brothers out there that are new fathers, that have been fathers, but don't know how to stand the way that they need to stand because of all the challenges and hardships that they face in life, because every day is a challenge. And I tell
Hmm.
people all the time, whatever doesn't challenge you doesn't change you, and whatever you don't change you choose. But some
Good.
people don't know how to change, because it's easy to tell a brother, tell anybody you need to go to church. Okay, but
Yeah,
anybody can
yeah,
go to church, just sit in church. That doesn't make you a Christian. It's all about what you're getting to help change you from the inside out, what you retain. So that's how when brothers come to me, we just chop it up. We chop it up. We talk about basketball, football, whatever. That's to open the door, and then we
yeah. To
can
get them
move
open
forward.
to listen. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly, and
yeah.
then we can move
So, and you
music.
know what? Ain't nothing sexier than a man of God. Yes, Lord, send me one. I'll put some clothes on then.
Father God, we pray right now in the name of Jesus, send her the
Yeah,
man that you want for her, not the one that she
Amen.
yes,
wants.
Lord.
Amen.
So if there was, what legacy do you hope to leave for your children? TC, we're gonna start with you. What legacy would you hope to leave for your children?
That they can be undeterred. They can know that I was a great father to each and every last one of them, even when I'm not here. Nobody can come and tell them different. I treat them how I treat them. I treat my kids how I treat my kids, and I just want them to know that hey, I did my best, and I hope
Yeah.
it worked.
And you want that word to be instilled in them for nobody to be able to tarnish that.
Yeah, I want my legacy to be strong, and the fact that they know their dad, although I wasn't always like in the household, I was always there. Like physically, monetarily. I wish I could have been more there in person, but uh, I was always there. I had nobody to root for. And then after my divorce, happy divorce since March of 2005, I was single for a long, long time. I mean, I never took time to care about anything but them. I never took time to have another relationship. I thought it would just be me, and I was cool with that. But now, things have changed, and that's why I say now I'm enrolled in school again now. I'm about to be another full time student, full time employee. It's just things I had to
Full
do to
time
get.
daddy. Look,
Yeah,
full time
yeah,
daddy.
because I got to get things in order for they can have a way better, upbringing in childhood than what I had, even when I'm gone. So it's just doing right by them and making them know. As long as they understand, shoot, I'm good. I can rest in heaven or wherever I may be.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Thank you, Leroy. Answer that question for me, please.
Um, I first and foremost, want to make sure that they have a foundation, and that foundation is a foundation of faith. Because I believe that when you have a foundation that's built on Christ, that foundation won't waver when the storms come. Right? I want them to always know who they are. Their bloodline, the assets and liabilities of being who we are, the things to look out for, and you know, uh, want them to carry out some of the things that I worked hard for. And that's to maintain a good name. The Bible says a good name is better than silver and gold. To be men of integrity, to be women of integrity, to mean what you say what you mean, to be trustworthy, to keep family first, and to do for others. Uh, I also want them to use their creativity and their God-given talents to be able to branch off into entrepreneurship, so that they could be owners and that they could create financial opportunities for other people. So I believe when you have the freedom to do that, then you're not so locked in with working hours or 9 to 5s where your creativity is depleted. So I want them to carry out our name and
Yeah.
carry out our name and let their light so shine that when men see their good works, they glorify their Father which art in heaven. So that's really what I want when I leave this earth. So
Okay. Okay. What about you, BJ?
Well, I concur with both of these fellas here, because as men, especially men of God, we want the same things for our children. So, of course, a good name, not just a government name, but a spiritual name in Christ. You want to make sure that when you leave here, that your kids are well equipped for being able to do the things that God has called for them to do going forward, and being able to handle the things that this world throws at them. So, as fathers, as a father, I want to leave a legacy of them being able to look at me as that example of what I was, when I started, but when I finished, what I became in Christ. And don't be like me, be better than me. And
mhm.
that's what I teach my
Yeah.
sons all the time. Be better than me. Not saying that I'm bad, but I want you to be better. You see the example that I said before you and what I've instilled in you. Take that and run with it. And as you go through life, get understanding. And part of getting understanding is asking questions when you don't understand. So that way
Yeah.
we can make sure you can make a better informed decision about things in life. Because dad is gonna leave here. One thing for sure, dad gotta go. But when
My
dad
kids hate to
goes,
hear that. They hate to hear
I
me say
mean,
that.
Hey, we were born to die from the cradle to the grave, but when we leave here, I want to make sure that all my kids, my daughters too, are strong enough to stand and be proud of the father that they had, the earthly father that they had, because I instilled in them everything that they needed. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you guys look into the camera and if you had to apologize for one thing, can you look into the camera and tell your children what would you apologize to them for? And you could think about it for a second because I know I caught you off guard with that one. Um, but TC, you ready? Can you do that?
Oh yeah, sure. I'd apologize to both of my children for not being in the household as I envisioned myself being when I first became a father. I'd apologize to them for answering any questions that they may have had for me throughout their lives the wrong way, or um, not emotionally being there for one of their situations. I apologize for missing all their curricular activities and all the things they've done to make me proud. I hate I couldn't be there in person. Um, it's just, yeah, I can go on, but I mean, those are the top ones that come to mind, I think.
Okay, okay. What about you, BJ?
Um, I apologize to my daughters for not being the dad that you needed me to be when I was younger. You know, I wasn't as experienced or educated the way that I am now to be the father that you needed me to be wholeheartedly. So I apologize for that. And I was there, but I wasn't there like you needed me to be. So I apologize.
Y'all gonna have me crying up here. Y'all manning up. Come on, Leroy.
So I've apologized to all my children. Um, already for all of the things that I've done. But what I can say is I apologize for my unrealistic expectations of them, and how I can operate and control and want them to do the things that I would like them to do that may not be fitting for where they are in their lives. So I just encourage my children to be true to themselves and to love above all and to do the best that they can. We all a work in progress. Where nobody's going to be perfect, but that word perfection and the Greek is to be mature. So as we grow, just make better decisions and be mature in your decision making. Be critical in your thinking. Forecast your future and have vision and plan because a individual without a plan plans to fail. So I just encourage them to be like the brother said, be who God called them to be. Not what you think your daddy won't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But be who you are and own it. You don't have to apologize for being great. You know what I mean? You don't have to downplay how smart you are, how beautiful you are, how handsome you are, because God created you like that on purpose. For a purpose. So, you know, um, yeah, that's my thing right there. It's just the
Okay,
unrealistic
okay,
expectations. Yeah.
okay. I know this is Father's Day, but they say behind every man there is a great woman. Okay. How do the women in your life, your mate, encourage you to be a better father? Don't y'all hurry up and say nothing either.
Oh well, it's kind of easy for me.
Okay.
Shantae's kind of my
TC.
muse. I mean, I not only have to put myself in a better position for her and my son. It's like it's a vision. It's like it's a big picture. It's more to than just what I see now. But to have her in my life and him, it helps push me and motivate me to just do better and leave better things to, and let them know that I'm not the father that I had. So it's like
Okay.
it's a lot to be done. But yeah.
If you could say one thing to her, what would you say?
Oh my, I love her and I appreciate you.
Oh, boy, I got some tears in the back of my eyes. Y'all getting me here. Okay. Leroy, come on.
So um my wife holds me accountable. She challenges me. She supports me. And even when I had difficulty believing in myself, she believes in me, and she just so supportive. And what I would say to her is what I say to her a lot is thank you. Thank you for loving me unconditionally. Thank you for loving me past my faults. Because when you live with someone, they see you like no other sees you, right? So they see
Mhm,
the unadulterated version of you.
mhm.
Not the social media you or the representative of who you think you are. They know you, right? So I just thank my wife for you know. believing in me and holding on and allowing me to mature,
Yeah.
giving me the grace to mature and grow. But I really love how she challenges me. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, but it's fitting. It's needed. You know what I mean? It's needed. So I'm extremely grateful for
Mm.
her and everything that she does and sacrifices for our family.
Okay. All right, BJ.
Yeah, same thing, all the above. I
Mhm.
mean, my wife supports and encourages, in some cases educates me on some things because she's very resourceful, she's her field of work she's been in for over 20 years, so she's rubbed elbows with some of the smartest people in the NBA. Um, and so she's very resourceful in information that she has given me to help me to do business, and to be able to prosper in that area. But she's a minister as well, so of course the praying, the covering, through prayer whenever I'm getting in my moments where I'm weak, because sometimes we get weak. And I
Absolutely.
used to always ask who encourages the encourager, and my wife is there to encourage me when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling challenged. Um, but she sometimes she steps back and she lets me have my pity party, and then she asks me when I'm through with it. She asks me, "Are you done yet?" And then she, and she hit me with that word, and it snaps me back like I need to be. You
Yeah,
know, so
Wow.
yeah.
that's good
So
stuff.
how do you I'm gonna ask two more questions, guys. How do you stay faithful in your relationship? Because being dads, of course, you might be out in the street with your kids and you looking as young as they are, and women rubbing up or coming up on you, or social media.
Yeah.
If you had to tell your kids how to stay faithful, what would you tell them? Because it is not easy. I know it's not easy.
It's
And
not.
all y'all find me and find. Let me do my find, my three finds. Okay, my three finds. Okay. So how do you all stay faithful?
uh,
That's easy.
yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
it's
it's
easy.
yeah, for a guy like me, it is because it's like checks and balances. It's like you got to weigh out the pros and cons. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for that one moment of that instant, whatever, whatever? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I'm focused on the big picture. I'm making sacrifices. I'm driven to do what needs to be done. Why would I have any small distraction, any hiccup, any BS that could jeopardize what my main overall mission is? And as a man, I think most men will tell you that. Of course, I mean, I don't necessarily flirt. As they say that because I'm a Leo, I flirt. I just give compliments, and I like to make people feel better than they did when they first met me. So it's like that goes for men, ugly people, old people. It don't matter. That's just my aura, my vibe. So I want to just make sure that well, I'm about to start talking about my stroke, my ego. I'm sorry. What was the question again? I'm about to
How
get,
you
everybody
stay
carried away
faithful?
over here.
Yeah, you went straight into the ego.
You know,
Oh.
TC get into it.
Did he? Okay, Leroy, how you stay faithful?
I pray. I pray. I keep God first. I surrender to the will of God, and I communicate effectively. Right. I establish boundaries and I maintain boundaries. I appreciate the compliment. I'm happily married. You know what I mean. I
Yeah.
ain't busting no moves. I ain't looking for no girlfriend. I ain't trying to do none of that.
No
Right.
side,
You
nothing. All
know what
right.
I mean? Right. I'm happily married. I ain't, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. And I keep it pushing. You know what I mean? Don't spend too much time. Don't be in their face. I keep it moving, keep everything, the ways if I'm working with someone,
Up and
then
up.
that's a professional relationship, keep the conversation brief and make sure that I communicate with other men, you know what I mean? I hold myself accountable by, engaging with other men. So
Wow. Okay, BJ, what about you?
Yeah, it's it can be challenging on a day-to-day basis. So it's all about self accountability. And the Bible says that we got to crucify this flesh daily. So every day, there's distractions, there are people and things out here that are competing for your attention and your loyalty. And you just got to make a commitment within that I'm going to be the man that I'm supposed to be for my wife, for my family, for God, period. And then every step you take throughout the day, you gotta bring this flesh up under subjection of the Holy Spirit. I know every man is not there yet. It's not there like we are, but every day you got to look at what you have at home, what you have as far as in your life, and you got to determine what's important and what's not, what's priority, what's not. What matters, what doesn't matter. And
hmm
and and I tell people this all the time. At home, you know what you got. Out here in these streets, you don't know what you're getting. You know,
At all.
and if you really,
Okay.
if you're willing to play Russian roulette or take a chance with that and lose what you got or lose where you're going to spend eternity, then that's on you. And that's what I teach my kids. I said, listen, at the end of the day, we all got to die. Now you got to give an account for what you've done in this body. When you think about what you're doing out here that's not pleasing to God, ask yourself, is it worth it?
Okay.
9 times out of
Yeah.
10, it's not worth it.
right.
Okay. So if your final words, and if you're doing something that you're acting or you want someone to follow you, give me your last words that you want to say to my audience and how they can find you for whatever that you do. TC, let's start with you.
All right, guys. Again, thanks for being a part of the show, and thank you,
Yes,
Tanya, for having me. It's
great.
definitely been an honor to be amongst these gentlemen, these kings. I'm leaving with some great impressions and some great words. So thank you guys for your contribution. Again, my name is TC. You can follow me on Instagram at the number TCOOLAP. Too Cool App. And if you want to follow me on Facebook, it's T Cool WPPV. The WPPV stands for We Push Positive Vibes. So you can always find me there. And I'm going to leave
Wondering
you with
what
a
that
positive.
stood for.
Yeah, yeah. We push. When I had my radio station, that was my logo. WPPV. We push positive vibes. So what I want to leave you guys with, one of my favorite quotes. My motto actually is: think what's the best that could happen. So often when we're in situations, we get bogged down with like, what's next? How could it be worse? Why me? Don't worry about all that. You're built tougher than what you think you are. You're stronger than what you can imagine. Just know that whatever it is you're going through, you will be victorious in the end. So personally or somebody that's going through something in your life, you should always think what's the best that could happen. Put that positive
Okay.
energy out there, and you get a positive result. That's it.
Yes. Thank you, TC. Come on,
My
Leroy.
pleasure.
On Instagram is abundant life, abundant underscore life. Um, I just want to encourage each and every one of you to keep God first. Um, to be the best that you can be, and don't allow society to define who you are, right? Dig within. I believe that everything that we need in life is inside of us, and we have the keys. A lot of times we give people our keys to drive our cars, turn our steering wheels and turn us crazy. And I just encourage you to use your keys, to advance in life and do the things that God has called you to do. And I want to tell my cousin that I'm so proud of you. You continue to get better as you get older. You continue to grow in grace, to grow in beauty, to continue to strive. When I see you, it's like I ain't working hard enough. There's more that I have to do. So continue to keep setting the bar high. And it's great that I had the opportunity to share this platform with these great men. It's nice to meet you, fellas. Continue to you know, um, push
Yes.
forward in life and move forward with a purpose. And hopefully, I'll see you guys in the near future.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what's up?
Come on, BJ.
Well, first of all, I want to say to God be the glory for you, Tanya, and your platform, and thank you for having us, me. Um, we just pray that this platform of yours continuously be blessed, and it goes to higher heights. All
Thank
right.
you.
And
Thank you.
I just want to say to these brothers, keep doing what you're doing. You know, you guys are blessed. You guys are powerful. And I just want to encourage you and speak life into you and everything that you do. Speak life into your family. You know, speak prosperity over your life in every aspect, relationship, health, wealth, everything. You know, and just stand your ground. And you know, on what you know, on who you are in Christ, and don't let anything deter you from walking that path that God has laid out before you. For your audience, just understand that every day is a battle. You know, sometimes it's a battle from within or without. Sometimes we battle people that love us and people that hate us. Either way, we gotta find that place of peace that we know that surpasses all understanding. That's gonna guard our heart and our mind. You know, and stay in that place as best as possible. Because without Jesus, we have nothing else to put hope in. You can put
Mm.
hope in your money, you can put hope in stuff, but all the stuff is gonna fade away. People gonna die. But Jesus, the word of God, is forever. You know?
Yeah.
So put your hope, put your trust, put your belief, your faith, everything in Christ. And no matter what things look like, sound like, feel like, seem like, everything is gonna work together for your good. And this is the last thing I'll leave your people with. Sometimes God gives the toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. So when you find yourself going through some terrible times, some rough times, understand it's all for a purpose, you
Mm.
know, and you just got to keep pushing through by faith.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. As we
Oh,
wrap
oh,
up this,
oh, oh,
oh,
you can follow me on
yes, I'm
Instagram
sorry.
at BJ_Bowman1. That's BJ_BOWMAN1. You can follow me on TikTok at BJ Bowman38 and Facebook, just James Bowman.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
As we wrap up this special episode with our dads, I want to take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey of our amazing fathers. Leroy, Arsenio, which is my son, James, and TC. Each of these men has faced profound challenges, from overcoming drug addiction to navigating the complexity of parenthood in different circumstances. Their stories remind us resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of love and commitment. Despite their past, they have emerged and devoted fathers, shaping the lives of their children and with the wisdom of compassion. Leroy, unwavering faith. Arsenio, determined to break the cycle. James, creativity. And TC, unique perspective. All highlights a diverse path to fatherhood. They exemplify that it's never too late to change, to grow, and to make a difference in the lives of others. As we celebrate these remarkable dads today, let us honor their journey and the lessons they share. They inspire us to embrace our challenges, foster our deep connections, and strive to better future, not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. I want to thank you all so much for being a part of the Diary of Dating Over 50. We do not celebrate our dads enough. Mother's Day, every restaurant is sold out. On Father's Day, they want a cookout. So we want to celebrate our dads. Thank you, Father, for being so special and special to everyone in your lives. I know I took an hour of your time, but I just wanted to highlight the dads. And TC and James were referred, and I referred my son and my cousin because both of them are great fathers. I love you guys. And until we again to another episode of the Diary of Dating Over 50 with Tanya R. Lewis. I have some good ones coming up for you guys. You're going to want to tune in. Have an amazing Father's Day and good night.
Bye-bye.
The hottest dating show on social media, hosted by the sassiest model of them all, Tanya R. Lewis. Are you 50 and single, dating or waiting to mingle? Be a guest on the Diary of Dating Over 50 with your host, Tanya R. Lewis.